Hi, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and let you know about where we're heading towards the end of the semester. And I know this is early into the semester, but I'm laying out some just guidelines on what you want to think about um, as we move forward through the course. So one of the requirements that's going to be towards the end of the semester, it's going to be probably the second to last week of the semester, you need to report out on something that's called your research assignment. And what I'm looking for is for you to look deeper than what I'm giving you. So instead of just typing what I'm typing and saving it and uploading it, I want you to research something that we're not covering and see if you can get it to work. That's really the goal here. When you get a job, no one's going to give you a book with all the source code. You're going to need to go to Google and Stack Overflow and find source code examples, play with it, work with it, and hopefully get it working. That definitely helps keep employment if you can keep the code running. And there's a lot of things out there in the mobile space that I'm not covering, but are good things to talk about. So um, when you're going to look for something to research, some topic areas maybe like geofencing, maybe iBeacons, it may be barcode scanning, it may be persisting data to the phone, either in a flat file, maybe an XML file, JSON file, or maybe persisting it in an SQLite database. So there's a lot of things that are really good to cover and really good to talk about that I want you to dig into. Um, so I don't want you to cover things that we're covering. Okay, so quick scan through the weekly schedule, and we're going to be covering things like GPS. We're going to be covering like rounded corners on images. So I'm going to get into custom renderers, which you're going to need to tap into at some point. Um, I don't want you to do your research assignment on an actual assignment, which, is pretty straightforward. So just what I'm looking for you to do is stretch. Now, you may not get it working, and that's okay. It would definitely be better if you do get it working. But what you're going to end up doing towards the end of the semester is just creating a video, kind of talking about what you were doing, what worked well, what didn't work well, and just you're going to share that out to the other students so that way they can kind of see what you did and how it works. So it's actually your opportunity to really kind of brag a little bit if you get it working. It's kind of cool. So that's what the research assignment is. It's really wanting me to have you go out and intentionally try to solve a problem. If you have a specific problem, definitely email me and I can say that's great. Otherwise, if you're covering something, like geofencing or near field communications, now some things do require hardware. So if you don't have the hardware, don't pick that item. So like iBeacons, you need to buy an iBeacon. Now you can pick one up for like $15, so it's not a huge investment. But if you don't have it, I probably wouldn't select that. And if you don't want to buy one, I would pick something that you can do for free. If you don't have an Android phone, I probably wouldn't pick out an Android specific feature, that you want to research. So kind of keep that in mind. There's tons of things that you can tap into. Barcode scanning uses the camera, doing anything with image manipulation except for rounded corners because we're doing that one. But if you wanted to deal with opacity or something like that through a phone app, and definitely, I'm looking for just one small nugget. I'm not looking for a full-blown app. I'm looking for just like if you're doing image opacity, maybe the app will have an image on it and maybe a number and a button. And if I put 100, it'd be 100%. If I put 5, it's 5%. You're going to know how it functions, and you're going to make the video and submit the video for everybody to see. So at least you have that control, so I don't have to try to understand what you're doing. When I develop, I do that all the time. I create a small demo app and just play around with one specific feature, get it working, and then I know that I can implement it into a larger program. And normally I do that even when I'm speccing out a project. Somebody will ask, hey, we want to do this. And if it's something I've never done before, it's a little scary. I mean, you're going to jump into something you've never done. You're going to look at code that you may not fully understand. But being able to play with it and understand it as you work on it is important. So anyways, that's the research assignment. That's going to be the second to last week. And then the last week is going to be your solo app. So we're going to be doing a lot of apps, and I'm going to be coding, and you're going to be following along and coding. But you need to create your own app. So the wireframe and the mock-up is really you mocking up what app you're going to be building towards the end of the semester. And there are certain things that are going to be, required. Some of them are pretty straightforward. You need an image and some labels, some text, some type of button switches, navigation. You need to have just some stuff in it. You need to have at least 3 screens, pass data back and forth between the screens, stuff like that. So, when you're thinking about it, things like mortality calculators, do you drink, do you smoke, do you exercise, what's your weight, what's your age, obviously you're not going to get a real number, but you can, kind of play around with it. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Maybe like a magic 8-ball, where you shake the phone and it'll, give you your fortune. Something like that. Now with the magic 8-ball, it's a one screen, so you're going to have to think about additional, screens for your options and settings, maybe giving the person the ability to put in the results, but that's up for you. So I'm really looking for you to kind of spin up your creative juices and get this going. I would like this one to be working, so just do your best. And again, this is going to be just like the research assignment. Towards the end of the semester, you're going to work on this, and then you're going to be submitting this out into the discussion board. And I want you to just kind of show off what you did, and then I'd actually like you to go out and comment on a couple other people's stuff as well, just so that way you can kind of see where you're at, where they're at. So this, I'm telling you early in the semester, so that way you can get your head kind of working on, because we're going to be working through a lot of different things throughout the semester, and each one of them are parts that are going to be snapping into your solo project. So it may not be perfect, but I mean, we're going to cover things like tabs. You maybe have tab navigation, or maybe you have just a standard navigation. And we're going to be working on all of those different things, different layout types, stacked layouts, grid layouts. So as you're working on it, you may, be doing a demo, think, oh, that kind of fits in here. So anyways, the reason I'm telling you early is I just want you to know we will have a couple weeks that are just straight work weeks that you're going to be focusing on this. So anyways, hope that's helpful.